So we have previously learned for if statement, but in our programming, we will have a situation. If some condition is true, we want to execute a certain set of statements. If the condition is false, we want to execute another set of statements. So how do we do that? So here we do if else basically. So how do we write that if else? So we will have basically if keyword, and after that in parentheses, we will write an expression. Okay. And then inside a pair of curly braces, we will write the statements which we want to execute if this expression is true. But if this expression is false, we want to execute another set of statements. So how do we do that? So then after if expression and a pair of curly braces, we write keyword else, and then inside a pair of curly braces, we will write basically statements. So these statements that you are seeing inside else block, they will be executed if the expression is false. If the expression gives you 0, then all these statements will be executed. If the expression gives you true, then these statements will be executed. Okay? So let's understand this through an example. Let's say we have to write a program that will check whether a given integer is a perfect square. So what is a perfect square? An integer is a perfect square if it is a square of another integer. For example, 16 is a perfect square as we have an integer 4. If we get the square of that integer 4 times 4, we'll get 16. However, 5 is not a perfect square as we do not have any integer whose square will be 5. Okay, so let's write a program that will basically compute whether a given integer is a perfect square or not. So here, what we will do, we will use math library. So for that, we will use CMath, and also we will use IOStream library, including stream CMath, and then we will use namespace. So we'll use this thing, and here we'll ask the user for a number. The user will enter the number, and then we'll compute the square root of that number. So for example, let's say user enters 16, we'll compute the square root of that number. And then we'll store it into another integer. Okay. So for example, here I will declare another integer, sr underscore num, which I will use to store the square root of the given number. So here first let's ask this, and then the logic will be clear. Cout, enter the number, cin, and the user will enter the number. And then what I will do basically, for the given number, I will compute sr num, and then I will call sqrt num, and the result I will, so here this sqrt num, it will return a double value, right? So for example, if you have entered 2 for num, so sqrt of 2 will give you 1.414. So it will give you 1.414, but we are assigning this 1.414 to an integer, so you will have only 1 there. Similarly, if num is 4, the square root of num will basically, it's a square root of 4 will be 2, so 2 will be assigned to sr num. Okay, so now when we have this, then we can write this condition here. If sr nums time sr num equal num, Then we will write Cout the number is a perfect square. Or we can write like this. Num is a perfect square. Else, we will write num is not a perfect square. So here, let's understand how does this program work. So how does this program work? So here, we have a variable num. And then we have another variable, srnum. So in this line, we are asking enter the number, and the user enters a number which is assigned to this num variable. So let's say when the program executes, user enters 9 for num. Okay, so num is 9. And then in this line, what we are doing, we are first computing the square root of 9, which is 3, and 3 is assigned to srnum. So srnum becomes 3, right? And then in if we have an expression, srnum times srnum equal num. So we have 3 operators. One operator is this one, and then another operator is this one. So this one has higher precedence over equality comparison operator. So first 3 times 3 is computed, and then we are checking for the num, which is 9. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 equal 9, which is basically true for 1. So this expression is true. So then this statement will be executed, right? And then this will not be executed. Else part will not be executed. So now your program will display 9 is a perfect square. And now in another run, the user, let's say, enters some different number. Let's say user enters 2 basically. So let's say user enters 2. So that time num will become 2. And then when you will compute the square root of num, so square root of 2 will be 1.414. 1.414 that you are assigning to srnum, which is an integer. So this part will be truncated. So srnum will have only value 1. And now let's check this condition expression srnum times srnum. So we have srnum 1 times 1 equal 2. So 1 equal 2, which is false. Then if this expression is false, then this will not be executed. Then whatever you have kept inside else, that will be executed. Okay? So here it will display Cout 2 is not a perfect square. So let's run this program. So let's run it first time for 9 and second time for 2. Let's say 9, the number is 9. So you see that 9 is a perfect square. Why? Because when you basically compute srnum for 9, so square root of 9 is 3. So srnum will have 3. So 3, and in this expression, 3 is multiplied with 3, which will give you 9. And then 9 is compared with 9 for equality. So that will be true. So this statement is executed only. Next time, let's run it for 2. So let's put 2. So 2 we are assigning to num. And then we are taking the square root of 2, which will be 1.414. But since SR num is an integer, so we will have only the integer part. The fraction part will not be assigned to SR num. So in SR num, we will have only 1. So here, 1 is multiplied with 1, which will give you 1. And you are comparing 1 with then 2, which is false. Then this statement will be executed. So let's run this. 2 is not a perfect square. So this is a demo for if-else statement. So here, one thing also you should note that. So inside if or else block, we may have more than one statement. Okay. And then that's called compound statement. When you have more than one statement inside if or else block or any block, that is called compound statement. So here, the statement that we have inside if or else, they are displaying output. But we may also have statements like if else statement inside these blocks. So that's called nested if else. So that's if else statement demo. Let's learn now if else chain basic.